All right, let's be real. Buying a house in America right now feels like trying to win the lottery. Prices in big cities? Absolutely insane. You scroll Zillow in Los Angeles and suddenly you're staring at a one-bedroom shack listed for $800,000. Like, excuse me? Does that come with a personal butler and a lifetime supply of avocado toast? But here's the twist nobody tells you. There are still towns out there where housing prices are so low, you'll honestly think you're being pranked. I'm talking entire houses for the price of a used Tesla. Places where you can buy a 3-bedroom home with a yard, maybe even a porch swing, and still have money left over for tacos. So in this video, we're counting down 25 U.S. towns where home prices are shockingly low. Now, are these places New York, San Francisco, or Miami? Nope. But that's the point. These are hidden gems, small towns with character, affordable housing, and sometimes some quirks that make them unforgettable. And I promise you, by the end of this list, you'll be like, wait, why am I paying this much rent when I could literally own a house in random Midwestern town for less than garage in my current city? But before we kick things off, click that subscribe button right now so you don't miss our future updates. And now, grab your coffee, maybe pull up Zillow on another tab, and let's dive into the first 8 towns where the housing prices are so low. You'll think it's a scam. Kicking things off with 1, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. This town is about an hour from Pittsburgh, and here's the deal. Median home prices hover around $50,000 to $60,000. Yeah, you heard that right. That's not the down payment, that's the whole house. Johnstown has that classic Rust Belt vibe. It used to be a booming steel town, and now it's reinventing itself as a quiet, affordable spot. The downtown has old brick buildings, coffee shops, and a historic inclined plane that literally takes you up the side of a hill. The trade-off? Jobs aren't booming here, so a lot of retirees and remote workers are the ones moving in. But if you just need a cheap house and solid internet, Johnstown is like buying a monopoly property in real life. Next up, 2, Cairo, Illinois. This little town sits where the Mississippi and Ohio rivers meet. And honestly, it feels like an abandoned movie set. Old architecture, river views, and home prices that will make your jaw drop. Median homes here go for under $40,000. Yes, $40K. That's about a year of rent in bigger cities. Cairo's been through tough economic times, and parts of town feel almost frozen in history. But here's the thing. If you're the adventurous type who likes fixer-uppers, you could literally snag an old Victorian house for the price of a decent used car. It's not for everyone. The economy is slow, and you'll need to be self-sufficient. But for people who want ultra-low prices and a shot at small-town revival, Cairo is the real deal. Okay, let's head south to number 3, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Median home prices? Around $70,000. That's still shockingly low for a place with grocery stores, hospitals, and actual neighborhoods where people mow their lawns on Sundays. Pine Bluff has had struggles with crime and economic shifts, but the bones of the town are strong. The Arkansas River runs through it, there's a university, and the cost of living is like a third of what you'd pay in bigger cities. If you're looking for a place where your mortgage payment is less than most people's monthly car payment, Pine Bluff could be your spot. Just go in knowing it's a work-in-progress kind of town. 4. Now let's talk Martinsville, Virginia. This place used to be all about textiles and furniture. Then the factories closed and housing prices never really recovered. Today, median home prices hover around $90,000. Martinsville's perk is the scenery. It's in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, so you get gorgeous views, hiking trails, and that classic small-town Virginia feel. NASCAR fans might know it for the Martinsville Speedway. The downside? Fewer jobs than in big cities, but again, if you're remote working, you can literally buy a house here for what some people pay for 6 months of rent in Washington, D.C. Number 5, Youngstown, Ohio has been the butt of jokes for decades, but hear me out. This place is changing. Median home prices are around $80,000, and the town is actually working hard on revitalization. There's a university, a growing arts scene, and parks that honestly don't get enough credit. Mill Creek Park, for example, is gorgeous. Trails, waterfalls, stone bridges, all that good stuff. Yes, it's Rust Belt, so the economy is slower. But if you want to actually own property without selling your organs, Youngstown deserves a second look. Let's swing back to Illinois, this time number 6, Danville. Median home prices are around $65,000. That's like 2 months of rent in Chicago. And the best part? You're only about 2 hours from Chicago, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. It's like the ultimate budget-friendly hub. Danville has an old-school downtown with murals, diners, and a historic theater. It's one of those towns where you can still find neighbors sitting on porches in the evening. Of course, it's not booming with new industries, but Danville is kind of a steal. Number 7, Beckley is next, and this one's interesting. It's in southern West Virginia, surrounded by mountains, rivers, and coal mining history. Median home prices? Around $90,000. The cool part about Beckley is the outdoor lifestyle. You're close to the New River Gorge, which became a national park recently. Whitewater rafting, hiking, camping, all right there. The trade-off? It's a bit isolated and jobs are limited. But if you're into outdoor adventures and want a mortgage that's literally less than a new iPhone payment each month, Beckley might surprise you. And there we've got 8. Gadsden, Alabama. Median home prices? Around $95,000. And for that, you're getting a real southern town with riverfront views and a slower pace of life. Gadsden sits on the Coosa River, and it's known for Noccalula Falls Park, which looks like something out of a postcard. There's also a surprisingly decent art scene with local theaters and festivals. The downsides? Like many towns on this list, jobs aren't overflowing, and you'll have to get used to the southern heat. But for under $100K, owning a house here feels almost unreal. Number 9, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Yes, that's Scranton. The one from The Office. And you know what? The housing prices here are honestly as surprising as Michael Scott's management style. Median home prices sit around $120,000. Still cheap compared to most of the U.S., Scranton has a little bit of everything. Old coal town history, a university, and a downtown that's been slowly polishing itself up. Plus, if you're a fan of the show, you can geek out at the Steamtown Mall and make "that's what she said" jokes in public without shame. Drawbacks. Winters are snowy and jobs aren't booming, but if you want affordable homes and a quirky identity, Scranton is solid. 10. Decatur, Illinois. Illinois is showing up a lot on this list, huh? Decatur is another town where home prices are jaw-droppingly low. Median? About $95,000. For that price, you're getting entire single-family homes, not studio apartments with urban charm, aka no closet. Decatur is a classic Midwest town. It's got big cornfields, manufacturing history, and a downtown with old theaters and diners. Lake Decatur gives you boating and fishing right in town. The downside? Like a lot of Midwest towns, jobs are shaky, but if you're remote working or retired, you're living large for pennies. 11. Wichita Falls, Texas is one of those towns that constantly flies under the radar. Median home prices? About $130,000, which in Texas feels like you're robbing the bank compared to Austin or Dallas. The cool thing is Wichita Falls still has Texas charm without the chaos of big city traffic. You've got the falls themselves. Yep, there's an actual waterfall, parks, and a strong community vibe. Sure, summers are scorching, and the nightlife isn't exactly Austin level. But for $130K, you can buy a house, add a grill in the backyard, and live your Texas dream without selling your kidneys. Back to the Rust Belt, 12, Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie is a lakefront city right on Lake Erie, and the housing prices are as cold as the winters. Median? Around $115,000. Here's the thing about Erie. You actually get big city amenities on a small-town budget. Waterfront parks, a zoo, minor league baseball, and Presque Isle State Park, which is honestly stunning in the summer. Downside? Lake effect snow is no joke. Winters will test your patience, your shovel, and maybe your car's engine. But the trade-off is crazy low prices on homes that would cost triple in most other waterfront towns. 13. Albany, Georgia. Albany sits in southwest Georgia, and it's one of those towns where you can still buy a house for under $120,000. That's bananas when you realize it has a real downtown, shopping, and even an aquarium. It's got a river running through it, a civil rights history museum, and plenty of southern charm. Plus, peaches and pecans. Who doesn't want to live in a place where your snacks grow on trees? The flip side? It's hot, humid, and not exactly an economic powerhouse. But if you're into southern living on a budget, Albany delivers. 14, Rockford, Illinois. Yep, Illinois again. Rockford is about 90 minutes from Chicago, and median home prices hover around $115,000. That's wild when you think about how close you are to a major metro. Rockford has a surprisingly good art museum, botanical gardens, and a bunch of historic neighborhoods. It's one of those places where you think, wait, why haven't I heard more about this? But to be fair, Rockford's reputation isn't spotless. Crime and unemployment have been issues. Still, for Chicago proximity at a fraction of the price, Rockford is tough to beat. 15, Evansville, Indiana. Evansville is Indiana's third largest city, but the housing market looks like it forgot to catch up with the rest of America. Median prices? About $125,000. It's on the Ohio River with a riverfront that hosts concerts and festivals. There's a university, a decent zoo, and even a casino, if you're into that. Plus, you're within a few hours of Nashville, St. Louis, and Louisville. Downsides? It's not glamorous, and the weather is classic Midwest unpredictable. But affordability plus amenities? Evansville is sneaky good. 16, Lawton, Oklahoma. Median home price, about $120,000. Lawton is near Fort Sill, so there's a strong military presence, and the Wichita Mountains are right there for hiking and camping. The town has big box shopping, chain restaurants, and all the basics covered. It's not the most exciting place in the world, but if you're looking for a home that costs less than a luxury SUV, Lawton fits the bill. 17, Flint, Michigan. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Flint? Really? Hear me out. Median home prices here are around $55,000. That's mind-blowing when you compare it to the rest of the country. Yes, Flint has had its share of struggles, especially with water and economic decline. But parts of the city are bouncing back. And for people who want a super low cost of entry, Flint is basically like buying real estate with couch cushion change. It's not for everyone. You need to be aware of the challenges. But there are neighborhoods where folks are working hard to rebuild community, and the affordability is unmatched. 18, Macon, Georgia. Macon is this funky mix of southern charm, music history, and oh yeah, incredibly cheap housing. Median home prices? Around $105,000. This is the birthplace of Otis Redding and Little Richard, so music is everywhere. Downtown has murals, festivals, and live shows that make it way cooler than its size suggests. Sure, summers are steamy and the economy isn't booming, but for the price of a luxury car, you can own a legit southern home with a porch big enough for sweet tea and rocking chairs. 19, Toledo, Ohio. Toledo is one of those cities people drive past on the highway without realizing how affordable it is. Median home price? Around $110,000. The city has waterfront views on Lake Erie, a legit art museum, and minor league baseball. Plus, Detroit is just an hour away. Downsides? Cold winters, potholes that could eat your car, and some rougher neighborhoods. But for dirt cheap houses, Toledo deserves a look. 20, Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport is like New Orleans' forgotten cousin. Smaller, cheaper, and without the non-stop tourists. Median home prices? About $120,000. It's got casinos, music, and legit Louisiana food. Gumbo, crawfish boils, jazz clubs, all for way less money than you'd spend in New Orleans. Sure, summers are hot and the economy is uneven. But for people who want southern flavor on a budget, Shreveport hits the spot. 21, Gary, Indiana. Ah, Gary. The Michael Jackson birthplace. The steel town that time almost forgot. Median home prices? Around $55,000. Gary has been through rough decades, no doubt. But here's the thing, its location is unbeatable. You're on Lake Michigan, and Chicago is only 30 miles away. For people willing to gamble on revival, Gary is like the ultimate budget buy. Imagine snagging a house for less than what some folks pay for their wedding. 22, Rochester, New York. Upstate New York is full of surprises, and Rochester is one of them. Median home prices? About $140,000. Higher than some towns on this list, but still crazy low for a city with universities, culture, and proximity to the Finger Lakes. You get waterfalls right in the city, a strong food scene, and legit health care thanks to the University of Rochester Medical Center. Winters? Brutal. Snow that makes you question your life choices. But affordability plus culture makes Rochester worth a look. 23, Little Rock, Arkansas. The capital of Arkansas doesn't always get attention, but maybe it should. Median home price? Around $145,000. You get riverfront trails, a surprisingly good dining scene, and history, including the Clinton Presidential Library. Plus, it's a hub for healthcare and education in the state. It's hotter than your laptop fan in summer, but for cheap houses in a livable capital city, Little Rock is kind of a steal. 24, Peoria, Illinois. Yep, Illinois again. This time, Peoria, where median home prices hover around $110,000. Peoria has long been the punchline of, will it play in Peoria? But it's actually pretty decent. There's a riverfront, a zoo, and a minor league baseball team. And Chicago is only a couple hours away. It's not glamorous, but if you want Illinois living without Chicago prices, Peoria delivers. 25, Binghamton, New York. Last but not least, Binghamton in upstate New York. Median home price? Around $130,000. It's a college town, so you've got culture, sports, and a steady stream of coffee shops. The rolling hills around town are gorgeous, and it's cheaper than a lot of other upstate cities. Downside? The economy has been slow, and winters aren't for the faint of heart. But for affordability in a legit college town, Binghamton is a hidden gem. So there you have it. 25 U.S. towns where home prices are so low you'll think it's a scam. Now look, not every town on this list is perfect. Some have economic challenges, others have weather that'll make you question your life choices. But here's the common thread. In a country where the average home now costs over $400,000, these places are outliers. They prove you can still find affordable housing if you're willing to look beyond the big-name cities. And let's be real, not everyone needs skyscrapers, traffic jams, or $15 lattes. Sometimes what you need is a porch, a community that knows your name, and a mortgage that doesn't haunt your dreams. So, what do you think? Would you pack your bags for one of these towns? Drop a comment below with the place that shocked you most. And if you've actually lived in one of these towns, spill the tea. What's it really like? Make sure to click subscribe to Retire USA and share this video with someone who's tired of paying outrageous rent. Because honestly, why pay $2,000 a month for a tiny apartment when you could literally own a house for less?